Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to episode number 27 of the Stevenage Football Club podcast, hosted by myself and Borough fan Matt Farley, along with guests of the podcast, discussing everything Borough, everything League Two, every week of the season. Now, it's a little bit of a different one today. Normally I would have a couple of guests with me, some regulars, some new guests, discussing everything Borough. Unfortunately, it's going to be exactly the same podcast as it was a few months ago in October, where we couldn't get anyone on because everyone was busy in the week. So it is just me today doing the podcast. So I'm very sorry to the listeners that there isn't anyone else with me and you don't get bored of my voice. But it's just me doing the Borough podcast today. Plenty to discuss. We've got leasing.com matches, League Two games. We've got some big upcoming games for Borough this Saturday and in a couple of months as well. Considering there's only 19 games left, I'm pretty sure everyone's feels pretty negative after seeing our Stevenage bottom, 24th place, 3 points off the bottom place, and sitting bottom with 19 points isn't great for the club, as we all know. But we're going to get into it. First of all, before we come into the League Two matches, last week we did the podcast, day before the leasing.com. Now, the leasing.com this season has kind of been looked upon, well, I think it has for every season, as a kind of boycotted competition. For us at the podcast, me and Reece have been discussing how the leasing.com for our club is quite important. We went out the FA Cup first round again, which was a bit disappointing and missed out on a lot of finances. We also went out the League Cup first round again, missing out on finances. And we've looked at the leasing.com as an opportunity for our club to gain finances, almost like a fake FA Cup. So we've come through, we beat Colchester and we played Bristol Rovers last Wednesday. And we won 1-0, which was a fantastic result for our Stevenage. It really was. It was a great performance from the lads. The football was great. We passed the ball. There seemed to be more energy about the team. And one thing that really impressed me was we finished strongly. For the first time in many months, we looked like we didn't tire in the last 5 minutes, mentally and physically. We strolled through that game. Craig McHale-Smith getting a goal, which was brilliant. I think that might have been Craig McHale-Smith's last game as well. So to get a goal was brilliant for Craig. It was brilliant to win. And we now sit 2 wins from Wembley. We're in the quarter-final. Exeter away on Tuesday night, which is just crazy. Another away game. But we could see our beloved Stevenage Football Club back at Wembley in April. It could be brilliant to get there. And I know the competition's been boycotted, but it's big for our club. Any competition that's finances, it always will be that Stevenage is a small football club. We are a small football club at Stevenage, and it's just the way it is. Any competition that we can reap the reward for finances is huge for our club. I mean, if we look back on all the great cup runs we've had in the FA Cup, the hundreds of thousands of pounds we got, it afforded the Bradbury End facility, the new floodlights, all of those are new things, players. And considering that at the minute we're struggling to score goals, going through in these leasing.coms gives us a bit more of a budget to buy players. Me and Reece had a discussion about this off the audio, and we said that actually if Stevenage get relegated this season, which at the minute it's looking like that unless we can pull a few wins together, winning the leasing.com or getting far in the leasing.com will provide funds to next season. So even if Borough got relegated, we'd have all the funds to buy all the best players in the division. Likewise, if we stay up, we've got funds there to buy a new team if we need to. So I think that's very important. But also, it's important to try and play well in that competition and take those good performances and try and input them into the league, which is very important. It was a really good night at Bristol Rovers, actually. There was quite a few Borough travelled. Funny stories, though. I drove. I had 3 people in the car. The journey down was fine. We got down there 5:30, went to Chippy, went to the game, saw Stevenage play. Carl, the coach driver who drives the players, let us onto the players' coach, which was amazing. Their facilities are just crazy on that coach. They've got a kitchen, Sky Sports tellies. They've got like a lounge area at the back, which is almost a bit like a poker table, like a blackjack table. It's really strange, but it was great. We had a chat with Carl. Carl's a lovely guy. We speak to Carl every game. Went into the grounds and obviously saw Stevenage win. It was great. The journey home was just crazy. Graham Wesley spoke about how the players didn't get in till 3:00. It was exactly the same with us. We left Bristol all happy, singing Wembley songs for Stevenage, and we got diverted not onto the M4, onto the M3, and it took us through all these country roads, pitch black at night, and it actually took us down past Stonehenge. So it was just a ridiculous journey. Didn't get back to the Lamex till about, I think it was about 2:30, 2:00, 2:30. What a journey home. I didn't know how I didn't fall asleep at the wheel. It was really difficult, but so worth it that we won in that competition. And we move on to the quarter-final next Tuesday away at Exeter. I'm not sure how many Stevenage are going to travel down. I will if I can, but it's a bit of a disappointing tie. I wanted a home tie, and I think there's been few discussions about fixture congestion in this competition, and Graham's kind of, said in interviews that our players are getting tired and we are getting a few injuries, and a few people, including myself actually, are a bit like, well, if that's the case, why are we continuing in this competition? Just play an easier side, throw it and concentrate on the league. But the leasing.com would be a really cool trophy to get to the final in, and to see our beloved Stevenage and Borough at Wembley again, like the old FA Trophy days. It would be pretty cool. So we'll see how we do next Tuesday. 7:00 kickoff away at Exeter. Come on the Stevenage. Hopefully we can get through. So we went from that game. We moved back into League Two. Quick turnaround. Port Vale at home. We had 2 back-to-back home games. Port Vale at home and Oldham at home. Oldham at home obviously had a bit of extra sauce on it, as we know. We'll discuss Port Vale. We went into the Port Vale game, and me as a Stevenage fan, I thought we could win. We'd had a really hard-fought point against Colchester where the players showed a lot of character and a lot of heart. And we just got a brilliant win at Bristol Rovers. And those, especially the Bristol Rovers performance, there was some really good football played. Kept the ball on the floor, distributed the ball, put pressure, and we looked really fit. And I thought, we could get 2 wins here, or win and a draw, or even just 2 draws, get 2 points from those games. The game against Port Vale was a poor performance. Very disappointing performance. I think one thing that shocked me, I was in the North Stand. It was my second time there. Absolutely loved the North Stand, by the way. It's got to be, I hate to say it because I love the test, but it's got to be like my favourite stand. I think it's great, even though it's freezing. What shocked me was the quality of football. It was really poor. We couldn't put 3 or 4 passes together. You could see from the first 10 minutes that we weren't going to win. I actually said it was going to be a draw written all over it in the game. I just couldn't see us scoring. But likewise, I couldn't see us letting in a goal from normal play, from open play. Really poor performance. Ended losing 1-0. 88th minute penalty, Tom Pope, as we ate him. I was very disappointed. with the players. It was the football and not scoring any goals again. I think what's really annoying me is how many times now do we go into half-time 0-0? Yes, it's like every game. I don't think... When was the last time that we went in half-time 1-0 up? I think it might have been Cambridge at home, funny enough, back in, October, September. We've... It's been really hard watching the team play, and I back the team every week, and it doesn't matter how poorly we play, I still back the team. I still have hope that we can stay up, but, some of these games that we've played this season have been really poor. Port Vale was very evident in that. Very poor performance. Lost, no goal again. We've scored 15 goals in 27 games, if you include the older one that we're going to talk about. And this performance just lacked real purpose on the ball and energy. Seemed to get tired again in the last 10 minutes. List brings down Pope. I thought it was a penalty. One of these things, Listy's playing at right back, never played there in his career. Things like that can happen when you're not playing in a position for long and you're learning. And it was a pen, and we conceded. Didn't think the ref was great, to be honest, but we really didn't create any real good chance. Curtis had a decent chance in the first half and had a header in the second half, but there was no real clear-cut chances. We didn't create a lot again. It's very disappointing because I've said this all season. We've got good foundations at our club and in our team. If we look at the back line, 10 clean sheets, 12 clean sheets if we're including the cups, 13 draws, including the Oldham draw. That means out of 27 games that we've played, over half the games that we've played we're unbeaten in. That's a bit strange for a team that's bottom. 10th best, 12th best defensive record. It's the goals. 15 goals in 27 is poor. And I said this on the podcast last week. Every team in League 2 has got a goal scorer, but we don't at Stevenage. Stevenage doesn't. We don't. We don't have a goal scorer at Stevenage. We have Guthrie, who can score goals if he's getting the right service, as we saw with Ilias Chair. But, and I'm going to say it, I think Dino's to blame for that. We got all this playing budget in the summer from the equity fund. It went all into the playing budget. I don't know how much it was, but I'd put money on it to say it was near $250,000, into the playing budget. And the only centre forward he bought was Jason Cowley. Now, no disrespect to Jason. Jason's a very raw, inexperienced Football League player who's got a lot of potential, but he wasn't going to be a James Norwood for his first season. I think we all knew that, So with Danny Newton out injured, we all knew that Cowley wasn't going to be this amazing centre forward that was going to score all these goals this season. It's going to take him a season or two to fully get into it. Jason hasn't just come from the conference; he's come from quite a few divisions below. So I blame Dino with that, to not buy any centre forwards. I think he got a bit big headed in the summer, going into the summer, thinking we were this amazing team after Ilias left, and actually we needed a few players, a few centre forwards. And that's the annoying thing for me. 15 goals in 27, it's been poor. I'll talk a bit about the Oldham game. Yeah, again, we moved on from Port Vale, and it was, in my opinion, I looked at Oldham as a must-win game. I've got to be honest. I thought, got to win that game. Massive game for us. Have to win. And again, it was a tough game on Tuesday night. There was plenty of sauce going into that. Dino Mamria, Oldham manager. Graham Wesley, our manager at Stevenage, along with Mark Sampson as coach. We all know the stuff that has been released with Ali and Mark and Dino. We're not going to get too much into that because we don't know anything. But we all knew that was on the game. And I went into that kind of saying, if these players have got any real passion and heart, we'll go out there and we'll win that game. And we'll do it for Mark, we'll do it for Graham, we'll do it for the fans and the club. Go out and win that game, regardless of form that we've had recently. And we went into that game, and again, conditions were tough. I think Graham spoke about the wind and the rain, but again, it was a poor performance in my opinion. First 15 minutes we were on the back foot. We looked like we were going to concede, and we were hanging on at the start, and it was like, come on lads, get into it. Listy had a good chance in the first half. Second half, Lakin has a great chance. We hit the bar. I don't know how the one doesn't go in off the bar. We played very well in the second half. We played better in the second half. But overall, we should have won that game. And another 0-0, another clean sheet, another draw. I don't know how many 0-0 draws we've had this season, but it's a lot. But again, good foundations at the back, playing without Scott Cuthbert. But no real clinicality in front of goal. And all right, it's a point on the ball for our club. Morecambe won against Port Vale, which was very disappointing to hear. So we are now 24th place with 19 points, 3 points away from the next place. And it's panic time now, isn't it? 19 games to go, and we're struggling. We're struggling, aren't we? It's very disappointing. Are we going to stay up at Stevenage? This has been a question that has been thrown around, and many people have answered it no, many people have answered it yes. I'm going to give my take on it. I honestly think that we will stay up. The reason why I say that is All it takes is for us at Stevenage to win one game. One game. And then Graham has got a foundation of winning. Okay? And once he gets that foundation of winning, he'll do it every week. And he'll improve on that. And I can see Stevenage picking up more points and more wins. The one thing that I'm very happy about is we've got a really good fixture list at the end of the season. And I think we're going to pick up a lot of points at the end of the season. You know, we're playing the Morecambes, the Macclesfields, the Mansfields, the Carlisles, the Oldhams, all the teams that are around us. Graham Westy teams normally finish well. Whenever he's managed Stevenage, the majority of seasons we normally finish well and pick up a lot of points. Even the League One season when we got relegated, we lost a couple, but I remember us winning at Bradford and winning at home, and we won a couple of games. So I think Stevenage will finish strongly. And I think, we'd have 4 months in the job by then. I think that we'll pick up a few points at the end of the season. So I think Stevenage will stay up. However, and I'm going to be completely honest here, we at Stevenage are a small football club. Okay, and we can dress it up how much we want. We've been in the Football League 10 years this year. If we stayed up, it would be our 8th season in League 2, which are really amazing stats for a club that come from the non-league, which we are. But we're a small club. And if you look on history, over the years, the small clubs, the small teams, normally go back down to the National League. Normally go back down. To come up, normally go back down, and then it's how the club reforms or rebuilds that brings us back up. And I think it could be one of those times for us at Stevenage. It could be. If we look at Cheltenham, for example, small club, went down. I think Cheltenham returned their first season back, won the league. Look at them now, rebuilt. Look how well they're doing, got more money. Look at Yeovil. Yeovil were a championship outfit, no more than 7 years ago? Look at them now. Conference. All right, Darren Sarle's there and they're second and they're creeping up on Barrow. But they had to go back down. So it could be that at Stevenage. It could be that for our borough. However, we've got good players. We've got a good manager managing. We've got a chairman that likes to be ambitious. And, I had a little walk around the club yesterday when I went up to pick my tickets up for Saturday. And I just thought, this club's never going to go down. Surely we can't go down. I will say this. If we can stay up, I think that Borough will be successful for many years. I think it could be like a Newport. Newport scored with 10 seconds to go, stayed up. Look at them now, playoff finals, FA Cup runs. Regarded as one of the better sides in the division. I think that could be the same for Stevenage, similar size as well. But we have to stay up. I think 40 points probably gets us there. Looking at how many wins we need to 40 points now. It's 7 wins from 19 games. I think we can get that. But it could be our time. It could be our time. Look at history. Look at all the teams that have been relegated. Notts County was a shocker last year, but the majority of the times the smaller clubs, including us, go back down. So could be our time. However, and I made this point, if we do, so what? So what? Yeah, the club has been built into a Football League club, new stand, badge, Bradbury End was built, all these new initiatives. But I always think that with our Stevenage, we're punching above our weight in the Football League, really. If you compare our size and how long the club's been going compared to a lot of others, we're nowhere near. And look at the crowd. Tuesday night we got, 2,500? Look at Bradford. We're playing Bradford in a month. Look at how much they get at home. 15,000 season ticket holders? It's just no comparison. And we're punching above our weight in League 2. And if we did go down, I don't think it would be a terrible thing. We would no longer be punching above our weight. And for the first time in a long while, Stevenage Football Club would be looked upon as a bigger club in National League. And that's something that I think we'd all like. There's newer things there. We'd be playing in the FA Trophy again. And I don't look upon it as panic. I panic every year. I say 50 points keeps my club up. I panic every season. I do it. I put all this pressure on myself. Go into games and think, oh, come on, don't get a draw, lads, get a win. And I've had enough of that pressure. I love seeing a team play. It's a real hobby of mine and I've done it for many years. And I'm going to do it for many years, the rest of my life. And you just think, why bother with that pressure anymore? However, we've just built this new stand, and it would be amazing to stay in the league and build our club, see if we can build upon it. It's a disappointing to draw against Oldham because I thought we could have won that game, and that was a team and a game in hand that we had, really, where I thought, we need to win this. Drawing it, turned out it wasn't the best result in the end with Morecambe winning, so we have to move on. So, Derby Day this Saturday. 28th Sky Bet League 2, fixture of the season for our Stevenage, away at Cambridge. Massive game for us. We haven't won an away game all season. Can we win an away game? I believe we can. I think that if we actually win an away game, I think all our troubles could turn around. Again, all we need is one win. One win for Graham, and he's found a foundation of winning, and he will build upon that. That's how Graham gets football teams turned around. He's always done it his whole career, isn't he? Win away from home, and I actually think it could spur the players quite a lot, give them a bit of confidence and drive, and actually really kick us on. Puts a bit of pressure on Morecambe as well. If they lose and we win, they'll look and think, fucking hell, they've won, and we've won. So I think that's really important. We don't normally win at Cambridge, do we? Of recent times, we've had poor form there. If we go back to the conference days, I'll always remember the draw when Mitchell Cole scored there. What a moment that was. I was really young at that point, and I still remember that. Great point. I always remember the playoff heartbreak there. Scott Rendell in the last minute. Daisy barreled it to the side. And I'll always remember the 3-1 win there in the conference. Charlie Griffin scoring, jumping onto the snow. I'll always remember that. That was the season that we got promoted. So in the non-league, we had all right form there. Since the Football League of recent times, we've lost there. Last season 2-0. I think we lost the season before 1-0. Season before that, we drew 0-0. A couple of seasons before that, we lost in the last minute there. We haven't really had good form there, although I think it's a winnable game Saturday. I was looking at Cambridge and reading the scouting report on our club website, and they've lost their last 3 games and are having a poor turn of form since Christmas. So this is a good chance for us at Stevenage to get a win, get up to 22 points and get that platform beneath our club and see if we can get 6 more wins to 40 points. But we want to see good football. We want to see a good performance. We want to see us get a win away from home. I've never known a Stevenage team to go this long without an away win for over half the season. I would like to see the new boy play, Jake Cassidy. I remember him at Tranmere. He's a very good player, very good young man, and I think he could be the solution to our troubles. Like to see him play. I'd actually start him and actually play him straight away, possibly with Curtis. However, I'd like to see us win Saturday, take a point at least, get the 20 points. However, I think we need a win. But really, I was saying to the boys about the rest of the 19 games. If Stevenage are going to go down, let's enjoy it and let's make a season of it. And then at least we can look back and go, oh, you know what? We made that last season in League 2 a really good season, didn't we? And I want to try and do the rest of the 19 games, kind of making days out and having weekends away and supporting the club and drinking as much alcohol as possible. But I think that's kind of the mentality. But yeah, I'm getting the train with a few mates. We're going to go and have a few drinks and get a bit pissed and enjoy ourselves. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And let's get a win for our team. Let's get a win. We need a win. We need to put the ball in the back of the net and really build from that. So, team selection. Obviously, it's just me doing my team today. Team selection as we sit here. I'm going to sit with my Pepsi. So, team selections. My team for Saturday, it's going to be similar to Tuesday's, but there's going to be a few changes. Going to put Farman in goal, of course. Cracking player. Best keeper this season, in my opinion. Best goalkeeper this season. Really, really enjoyed seeing Farman play. And I think the great thing about Farman is his kind of connection with the supporters. I've spoke to Paul, and Paul is a real advocate for getting involved with the fans. I think he's the best keeper in the league. I think he's been unbelievable this season. If it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have more than 5 points. So it's got to be Paul Farman in goal. Right back, Luther Wilding. It was great to see Luther back on Tuesday. Really, really like Luther. One of the many good players that Dino brought to the club. Really like Luther. It was great to see him back. I thought he played well on Tuesday. But it's just getting back into his stride. Centre backs, if Cuthbert's fit, Cuthbert goes straight in. I don't think Scotty is fit, so I put Digby and Nuge. I think them two have done all right recently, considering they haven't played together. Built up a little partnership, kept a couple of clean sheets, put them there. Left back, I put Chris Stokes. Stokes, he looked a lot better on Tuesday, delivery into the box. I don't think Stokes was very well against Port Vale, or he was coming back to full fitness, so it was good that he's got a few 90 minutes in the bag. So I'm playing 4 at the back. Midfield, I'm putting what's available. I'm putting List on the right. I think on the wide pitch at the Abbey Stadium, we need to play pace. And I put Elliot List. Right side. Midfield. I've said this many a times. I haven't been impressed with Michael Timlin. Timlin, the last couple of games, for me, has been giving the ball away so much. It's a shame, really. I liked him and I think he's a good player, but he's been giving the ball away, trying to hit 80-yard passes to no one, and we need a general in there, 2 quality ball players to keep the ball and distribute. And for me, Timlin can be that, but recently has been very poor. I've got to take Timlin out. I put Dean Parrott and Charlie Lake in together as a pair. I like Parrott. We need to get Parrott fit. I don't think Parrott's been fit this season. Need to get him fit. Need to get Parrott fit. He's such a good player, Parrott, and he hasn't fulfilled this season because I think he's been struggling with injuries. Charlie Lakin, really like Charlie. Played really well on Tuesday. Should have scored. Nearly did score. I've liked what I've seen from Charlie, so I'll put them two as a pair. On the left-hand side, I'm actually putting Tyler Denton this Saturday. I've said all season I want to see a balance of pace on either flank that can really get back and support. And I actually would like to see Tyler Denton on the left side of midfield, driving at players, putting delivery into the box, and also tracking back and defending. I think that would be a really good role for Tyler. So I'd like to see Tyler play there in front of Stokes, give Stokes a bit of help as well. In front of Parrott and Digby, I'm putting Ben Kennedy. I was disappointed not to see Ben really start on Tuesday. I don't know why he didn't start. Ben's been one of the positives since Graham's come back to the club. His creativity on the ball, his kind of attitude. I've been really, really impressed with Ben since he's come back. It looks like he's got his issues sorted. He's got his head down and wants to play for Stevenage again. So I put Ben Kennedy there. And I actually play the new boy up front, Jake Cassidy. I'd start him. I'd give him a start, put him out there, see what he can do. Put Curtis to the bench, bring Curtis on 20 minutes to go, or even Alex Ravel, but I'd put Jake Cassidy on. I want to see what he's got. I remember him at Tranmere, holds up the ball well, as Graham says, good goal scorer, good player. Want to see him there. I think that team's good enough to win at Cambridge, and I believe in that Stevenage team to get at least a point or win the game. So really good to go through that, really good to go through the team. Again, just before we move on to the League 2 roundup and debates about Graham and Mark, we need our first away win of the season. We've gone, what is it, 14, 13 games with no win. We have to tick that off the bucket list. If we're going to stay up, we need a couple of wins this month. We've got some winnable games, winnable away games. This Saturday's winnable. Grimsby away is winnable, even though they've got Ian Holloway as manager. And let's see our Stevenage get some wins on the board and give ourselves a good tally to end the season with. But I'm looking forward to it. Just going to get drunk and have a day out and support Stevenage, and whatever happens, make a memory of the end of the season if we are going to get relegated. Really good to go through that. Really good to discuss the last 3 games and the build-up to this Saturday. A lot of discussion recently has been around Graham since he's come back. So Graham's come back. We've got 3 draws, 3 losses. The Crew one I'm not really counting because that was just a bit of a weird one. So 3 draws and 3 losses. In my opinion, looking at the team and looking how we've gone, I actually think that Mark Sampson, at this point in time, did a better job than Graham. I'm going to go out and own it. it's almost like we've gone backwards since Graham's returned almost. The performances, the goals. It's almost like we've gone backwards. And with Mark, do you know what? Mark got a lot of stick from a lot of people about, I'm going to say it, about we're not winning football matches, we're not scoring a lot of goals, this and that. And I actually thought that Mark did a really good job. And I think the job was very kind of underestimated, what Mark did. Dino Maria has absolutely ruined this team. He has ruined this team. He has, no doubt about it. Last season, we had a good side and a team that was mid-table form, not relegation form, mid-table form. There was a lot of great wins, Colchester home and away. There were a lot of poor losses, Cambridge at home and Cambridge away. Tranmere away is another, right? And Curtis Guthrie was dipping in with a goal now and again, but we weren't scoring any goals. And what happened? We brought Ilias Chair, and he just transformed the whole team. He gave service to Curtis, even if that rhymes. 7 goals and 5 assists for Curtis. He scored himself, Chair. We'll always remember the Lincoln goals. We'll always remember the Tranmere winner. He was amazing. And we finished that season really kind of should have made the playoffs in the end, but missed out by, I think it was a point or goal difference or whatnot. And we came into this season and Chair went back, and I really kind of thought that Dino not got big-headed, but took his foot off the gas. And thought, we've got a brilliant team, signed up some really good players, we'll be fine. And I always remember in Jersey when the whole team went out getting drunk, and I thought, gosh, you wouldn't see Graham Westley teams doing that. And I don't think these players were worked hard enough in pre-season. You know, Graham mentioned someone at Plymouth that he wasn't happy with the preparation in pre-season. He didn't think they did much. I don't think they were worked, or if not enough, properly. And I remember those pre-season games. I thought St Albans away was poor, actually. Look at St Albans now, they're bottom. Wasn't impressed with the Portsmouth game, nor was the Peterborough game. We nicked a goal, we didn't really do anything in that game. I wasn't impressed with any of those pre-season friendlies. I mean, even if we look at Jersey, we let 3 goals in and we were losing. I mean, I thought the pre-season period was poor. And what happened, we got into the season, players started getting injured. That's why we started to tire 10 minutes to go and started letting in all these goals. And I really did think that Dino really knocked the stuffing out this team. Not only was it the preparation, but Mamrie is quite a my way or the highway kind of manager, I kind of get, really. And it only works for a small minority of managers, that. It doesn't work for every manager. And I actually think he possibly even ruined the confidence of this team. Left us in a really bad, poor place. Really bad. I mean, we didn't score a goal for the first 4 or 5 games. I mean, that's just not on. We all went up there to Salford, and that was poor. There were hundreds of Stevenage fans that made the trip for a bloody 12:30 kickoff, and that was a poor performance. Poor performance. And you could see then that the team weren't right. You could see then that Dino was not right for the job. Non-league manager. And he is. And if he's not careful, he'll get fired from Oldham as well. And he really left this team in a bad place. Mark came in and I actually thought put a bit of life into the team. Seemed like the players all got on really well with Mark. Mark's a great guy. Mark gave us the opportunity to come to the training ground and be part of the podcast with him. What a lovely guy. I love the guy. I think he's absolutely fantastic. Lovely man, lovely guy, top football person. And I really appreciate everything that Mark's done for us and us as fans and at the club. But what he did, Mark, is he got the players playing with fun again. You know, I think the players had been starved of enjoying their football under Dino. And Mark came in and gave us that life. If we compare Mark's first 6 to Graham's first 6, right? Graham's first 6 is drawn 3, lost 3. And Mark's is 1-1, drawn 2, lost 3. So Mark actually has a better record than Graham in the first 6 games. He started getting us scoring goals. He got us into the knockout stages of a cup competition. I think Mark did a really good job. Mark got a lot of stick of, we're not winning any games, but really think that people underestimated how hard the job is. And we've seen that with Graham. Graham is a really experienced manager. But Graham's got 3 draws and 3 losses. So it shows how hard the job is. And I think Mark should get more credit, than Mark's got. I think this has all come down to the chairman, really. I think that Many years ago, Graham Wesley was manager of our club, and I think these issues have been brewing for many years, actually. Graham was a manager at our club, and he had the decision field to keep Graham or go down a different avenue. And he chose to go down a different avenue. I thought it was the worst mistake ever. He tried getting Teddy to bump up the crowds, but ultimately Teddy had no experience at even managing. He was a coach at West Ham, a centre-forwards coach. No experience, and it showed. We had players like Brett Williams and Dipo Akinyemi. I mean, if we had those players in this division, mate, we wouldn't even have 5 points. You know, that's how vast the leagues have come on. And poor Teddy, I didn't really think it was Teddy's fault. He wasn't given the budget and wasn't good enough. Who does he appoint next? Darren Sarll. I mean, a lot of fans love Sarll, but at the time, Sarll was not good enough. He wasn't experienced enough. He's doing bits now with Yeovil, but Sarll's taking his licks, isn't he? He's learnt at our Stevenage, and he's going to Yeovil and applying all the things that he learned. Sarll was not good enough at the time. Budget manager, again, fired after 18 months. Who do we bring in next? Dino, budgeted manager, cheap, fired after 18 months. There's a pattern here, and in my opinion, I think Phil should have gone, bomb, there's the money, experienced Football League manager, in. So I not blame the board or Phil, but because I'm sure they have their reasons, but I think that the football club could have gone about things differently with the managerial appointments that we've appointed. And for me, as a Stevenage fan, I've been seeing these issues for many years now. And now it's all conspired out, gone out of control, and we're in the position we're in. I believe in Graham. I believe in Graham Wesley. He's been successful at our Stevenage. Every season he's been successful. Even League One, he got us to a position where we nearly stayed up. I mean, if you look at that season, if Stevenage would have just beaten MK Dons, we would have stayed up. So how Graham nearly got us to survival, I don't know. So really, I believe in Graham. I think Graham will turn things around. I think Graham will get us winning football matches. But I think what Graham should do is really focus on building a team, not just for this season, but for the future, and getting our football club a real platform to work on. So I think this January window is really important. I think the end of the season is really important. If we can finish with good form, we take that good form to next season. I think next season could be a really big season for us if we stay up, because the league to me improves year on year. It's a good debate to be had because Mark did a good job and Graham started off in a tough position, 3 points from 18. So let's back these people, back our club, and see if we can really pull through and keep the club up. We'll move on really quickly. League 2 roundup. You've been going for about 37 minutes. So you can tell I absolutely love Stevenage because I can just waffle on for days. League 2 roundup really quickly. This is where we discuss everything League 2. We'll quickly go through it. League table to start. 24th position. I'm going to get it out of the way quick. 24th position with 19 points is Stevenage. Come on, the Borough. 23rd place, 22 points. 3 points ahead of us is Morecambe. 22nd place with 24 points is Macclesfield. 21st place with 25 points is Carlisle. And 20th place with 27 points is Leyton Orient. Up the top, first place, 53 points is Swindon. Second place with 50 points is Exeter. Third place with 44 points is Cheltenham. Fourth place with 44 points is Crewe. Plymouth, fifth with 44 points as well. Sixth, 44 points is Bradford. And seventh, 44 points is Forest Green. So from third to seventh, everyone's on 44 points. That is, don't think I've seen a League 2 table like that. Results for... we'll do Saturday because obviously we were a game in hand on Tuesday. Scores for last Saturday were obviously Borough losing 1-0 to Port Vale, Carlisle 0, Plymouth 3, Cheltenham 3, Walsall 1, Crawley 2, Bradford 1, Exeter 2, Cambridge 0. Leyton Orient 1, Grimsby 1, Macclesfield 1, Oldham 1, Mansfield 3, Forest Green 4, Morecambe 1, Colchester 1, Salford 1, Northampton 2, Scunthorpe 1, Newport 2, and Swindon 3, Crewe 1. So some big results in there. Crawley beating Bradford and Plymouth winning 3-0. Good results, and obviously us losing. Fixtures for this Saturday. Really important fixture list for ourselves at Stevenage. Fixtures are Borough away at Cambridge. Come on, the Borough, we need a win. First away win of the season. Bradford v Scunthorpe, Colchester v Macclesfield, Crewe v Cheltenham, Forest Green v Salford, Grimsby v Exeter, Newport v Swindon, Northampton v Morecambe, Oldham v Carlisle, Plymouth v Mansfield, Port Vale v Leyton Orient, and Walsall v Crawley. So hopefully we can get our first win. Morecambe can lose to Northampton away, which is a really tough game. And Macclesfield have got Colchester away, so that's not easy as well. So if we can get 22 points, we've caught up on that pack and we've left ourselves in a healthier position to try and play catch up, which is really good. League 2 fixtures prediction competition. I've got to be honest, I've been so lazy with it. I'm ever so sorry for the listeners. Haven't updated the tables yet. I promise I will update. I've been very, very busy recently, just after Christmas. It's been very difficult to keep on top of things. I will get that sorted. I'm not going to read my fixtures out. I'm going to leave that, and I'm going to ask and tweet out on the Twitter page for people to send in their predictions, and we'll get that updated and sorted. Yeah, really good to go through League 2 roundup. Fantastic. We'll move on. Coming to the end of the pod. I said it would only be a 40 to 45 minute pod because it's just me on my own. Again, I am very sorry for the listeners. It's been a very busy week for the boys, so we are trying to get them all back next week. I do believe we've got about 5 people on next week, so it should be a good one. Now, I haven't asked for any questions for people to send in because it's been a bit of a short podcast. So we're going to skip the Q&A section. Things to discuss, things to talk about. The Stevenage Football Club podcast charity summer football match 2020. Now, back in December, we did our very own Stevenage Football Club podcast charity football match. What a huge success it was. Farley 11 v Harley 11. Farley 11 won. Of course, Farley 11 would win. All the footballers on Farley 11's team, including myself. But yeah, it was an amazing event. Over 500 quid was raised for children with cancer. Mark and Revs came down. Over 300, 200 Borough fans there. It was a brilliant day, brilliant morning. And then Borough had a home game, lost 5-1, so that didn't end well. But it was a brilliant occasion. This summer, we are back. Now, Twitter was going off last Sunday because we tweeted out, if you wanted to get involved, we were taking players' entries and names and numbers. We opened up the players' entry vote and 60 people have got in touch. So we were going to do one big game, but we are going to do 2 big games. So it's going to be Farley's 11 v Donnelly's 11 and Nate's 11 v Slater's 11. So me as captain, Matt Farley, Reece Donnelly as Reece Donnelly captain, Nate as Nate's captain, and Mark Slater captain as Slater's 11. How it's going to work, we are inquiring to use the Lambic Stadium at the minute. It's in talks, 3rd of May, Sunday the 3rd of May. Fingers crossed we can get the Lambics. Nate's 11 v Slater's 11 is going to be the first kickoff, and Farley's 11 v Donnelly's 11 is going to be the second kickoff. The charity, we're looking to do it for the Stevenage Football Club Community Trust charity. We're also looking to do it for a cancer charity as well, Macmillan charity. So 2 charities that tie along each other. So we're going to do a different charity for per match, or we might do the lot. Teams are done. Teams are sorted. That's all out on the Twitter and Facebook page. We'll be doing kits and hopefully booking venues soon. Hopefully it's the Lambic Stadium. But if you want to get involved, please tweet us, please Facebook us at the Stevenage Football Club Podcast, or even get in chat with us on our new forum at the Borough Forum. Please get involved. We'll get anyone involved. It's going to be a great day, great occasion. Hopefully we can raise many money for charity, and hopefully the Farley's 11 can get our second win of the charity match series. So yeah, it's going to be good. We want to get hopefully some players down, some staff down. Hopefully Graham, Mark and Revs will come down. And it'll be hopefully getting as many Borough fans down there as possible. It's a brilliant 2 weeks because we've got the Stevenage Football Club charity podcast match, and then it's the Mitchell Cole tournament with Keith Bell the weekend later. So it'll be nice for those both weekends to try and raise as much money for different funds. Please get involved. We'll get you in, and hopefully we can get it all sorted. So yep, we've got that to look forward to. Other things, we're hosting the League 2 podcast if we're still a League 2 club. At the end of the season, there'll be more talk about that on next week's podcast. I do believe we've got 5 guests on, and I do believe we've got someone who's coming in to talk about it, so that should be good fun. I think that's about it today, really. Ever so sorry to the listeners for just listening to my voice for 45 minutes. I don't know how I've done it. I've got a can of Pepsi with me, trying to get through the lot. So really quickly to discuss, 19 games to go. 57 points left to play for. We've got 19 points out of 81. I really believe in in Borough, in Stevenage. I really think we can stay up. Although that stat earlier about smaller clubs going back down to the conference, it's happened for many years. And really at the minute, I think the Championship has almost turned into like a mini Premier League. League One has turned into like a Championship, and League Two is almost turning into a League One. And even in League Two at the minute, I think we're punching above our weight. And I think going back down to the National League wouldn't be a bad thing. We'd be regarded in our league, again, not punching above our weight, and regarded as one of the bigger clubs in the division. However, we need to start winning matches, and with the new North Stand and everything that we've done this season, our football club's got real potential to be very successful for the many years. Graham mentioned about Championship football. I'm not so sure about that just yet, but we have got a lot of potential at our club and the facilities that we've got. 19 games to go. I think we need 7 wins. I think we need 21 points to stay up. 40 points, I think, gets us there. I don't think the team going down will get more than 40. So this Saturday, first away win of the season, it's a really important game for us. It will give us a lot of confidence and really drive the players, and it gives Graham a winning foundation at the team now to go and put wins together. And we have got some winnable games coming up. My prediction, I'm going to go 1-0 Stevenage. Why not? 1-0 Borough. Ben Kennedy's scoring the last minute. Why not? We haven't won there in a while. I actually think last time we won there was probably the conference winning season. I think the 3-1 win, if I'm correct, or 4-1 win. So I'm going 1-0 Stevenage. I think we'll get our first away, and hopefully the players can give us a bit of hope over the weekend to kick on and drive on, which is really important. That's going to be it for me today, guys. Thank you ever so much for listening to the episode number 27 of the Stevenage Football Club podcast. 46 minutes of my voice. I'm not sure if you loved it or not, but please let me know how I got on. This is the second time I've done this now, so I think for a newer podcast at the football club, to only need to do it twice is, with no regular guests, I think is quite good. You've got to think just 2 weeks of how many weeks have we've had guests on, so... next week, we will be back for episode number 28. We'll have the Matt and Reese debate back. We will also be doing a Graham Wesley quiz. And we will be covering our games from this Saturday away at Cambridge and the leasing.com quarter-final tie, seeing Stevenage play away at Exeter. So hopefully the Borough, next time we can speak, are 1 win away from Wembley, which would be huge for our club. Thank you ever so much. I've been Matt Farley, talking everything Borough, everything League Two. See you next week for episode number 28. Have a lovely weekend. Get yourself to the Abbey to come and support Stevenage on the weekend. Hopefully we can all pull through and get a result. See you later, guys. You have been listening to the Stevenage Football Club podcast.